Put. Now, in my opinion, put, this irregular verb, is the most difficult common verb in English. You need to know how to use it properly because it's so common. And the reason why it's so complicated is because it's a verb that needs two complements after it. Now, when I say two complements, we're talking about what and where. So, firstly, let's talk about what. Okay, the what is the object. So, because put is a transitive verb, you must have an object. And all transitive verbs need an object. Secondly, we have the where. So the where indicates the place the object is put. And this is actually called an expression of place in the Cambridge Dictionary. And this is often just a preposition. For example, we could say, I put the plug in. I put the plug in. All right, so let's just illustrate the problems that students have with the verb put. So firstly, with what, here's an example of the verb put without the what or the object. So we've got the question, can you put in the fridge? Can you put in the fridge? So this sounds really bad, and so you really need to get it right. So a possible correct sentence is, can you put the beer in the fridge? Can you put the beer in the fridge? So, as you can see, underlined there in red, we need the object, the beer. This is also called the what. And without this object, the sentence will sound horrendous. So please don't forget objects with the verb to put. All right, and let's just illustrate the problem when students miss out the where. All right, so for example, do not say a sentence like this. In the UK, Brexit put a strain. Brexit put a strain. So we've got the strain. We've got the strain, that is the object, but we do not have the where. So we must indicate an expression of place. So a possible correction for this sentence is, in the UK, Brexit put a strain on the cost of living. So on the cost of living, you can see it underlined there. That is the where. Now, it's really important for you to master put because it's such a common verb. And literally every day in my online English training, students make mistakes with the verb put. Now, just to mention a final word. If you want to have success learning a language, you must have two things. One, you must have passion, and two, you must have perseverance. Perseverance. If you don't have these, you're going to have big problems. And I know that you'll have big problems because I've learned three languages myself: French, Spanish, and Norwegian. And actually, I learned Norwegian from zero to level C1 reading in just 9 months when I was doing my master's in translation. Now, how did I do that? Well, partly it was because I had passion. I enjoyed the process. I really enjoyed learning the language. This is going back more than 15 years, so I didn't have the internet to help. I just had a book and a good teacher. The teacher was fun. So you have to find a method that is fun for you. Now, not every method is fun for everybody because everybody is different. So you've got to find a method, a fun method that works for you. Okay. Secondly, to mention perseverance or discipline or good habits, I studied every day. I forced myself to study. Even if I was tired, even if I didn't feel like it, I forced myself to study every day. Okay, I had more time back then because I was a student, but because I had the discipline to make myself study, even if I didn't feel like it, I was successful. I was successful. And if you implement passion and perseverance, you also can get very good results in a relatively short space of time. Okay, thank you for watching, and you have an awesome day.